Okay, I'm gonna try doing a night haunt from Age of Sigma. See how quickly I can paint it. Again, I've got the wet palette there. So this is Red Grass Games wet palette. I've now cleaned the paint off on this membrane. This is the third time now. Still looking really great. And don't forget the Kickstarter starts in May. Okay, so I've actually got another one of these in the background just as a reference, but there's not a lot to these guys anyway. So we're going to start with Corax White. Just going to add a little bit of water in there, get some of that out, and pretty much slap this on the arms, the face, and the lower parts of it. I don't know what you'd call the lower parts, the sort of spirity parts. Again, doesn't have to be neat and tidy as far as I'm concerned, because all the magic happens towards the end anyway. Just stuff this all over here. Not too worried about the chains or anything else yet. That's probably how I managed to splatter off my paint by doing this so quick. Okay, so I'm hoping you can just see that. Just sort of splash this on around the edges, around the lower parts. I'm just going to do a quick hair dry on this guy when I can get the hair dry. That's kind of done. Next we've got Blazer Model Air Black Metallic, which is basically my go-to metallic colour because I love it. So anything that's metallic, or should I say metal, not metallic. Still might be a couple of white bits here that aren't quite dry. I'll work around them. Because again, this will be highlighted later anyway. So any slight errors will get corrected towards the end. So padlock there as well. This will be the bit where I end up missing a bit of metal because I'm always finding them afterwards. There's a little bit going up through here. So I've got 10 of these to do today. No, well, I haven't got to do them today, but I'm going to do them today. I just thought I'd do another quick video trial. Again, I'm going to try and hold this up a bit closer to the camera because I don't really know what you can see until pretty much after it's done. It's not always the easiest thing. But again, this new Red Grass Games membrane has been great. Okay, I didn't splatter loads of paint all over it when I excuse me, washed it, but it's cleaned off well and it didn't tear, and it's worked now. I don't know how many miniatures I've done with it, 15, 16 in the last few days. Actually probably more than that thinking about it, because last night I painted 4 little TARDIS and 5 bits of terrain. Okay, it's very simply painted, but I was using it again last night. Just cleaned it off this morning just so it looked a bit tidier for the purpose of this video. So that's all the metal work, and now we want some Mechanicus grey for the base. Stick a blob of that in the wet palette there, because I'll be using that again later for some of the other ones, and I'm literally just going to run this around the base. And then we're going to go on to black. This is running out, so let's just put a bit of a healthy blob on there. A bit of water just to help me out here to get it on quicker. So there's not really much to these miniatures. I think I've got maybe 10 pots in front of me, and I don't actually know if I need all of them yet. Again, if there's any little mistakes, I can all be tidied up later. Mainly just getting the base colours on for now. Bit more there. I want to just put some on the inside here. I just want to make it dark inside. I'm not worried what bit's going to be covered up. I just want to make it darker on the inside. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. There's a little bit around the head area, do it a bit darker. As I said to people, I probably average about 45 minutes on painting a lot of the miniatures. It's just what I like to do, just do them fast, make them look good on the board. Could take longer if I wanted to, but there's so many grey miniatures out there to paint, you know. Someone's got to do it. Okay, so we're just going to give that a quick blast with a hairdryer. You might get used to that if you keep watching videos. Right, so now we're going to go with the gold, Balthazar gold. This is just a tiny little bit. Just take this straight out of the pot, which is very naughty of me, I know. We're just going to stick that on the padlock there. Just on the padlock there. Again, I hope you can see that, and I'm not holding it at a weird angle or anything. Okay, so we're starting to run out of colours that I need. I don't need them anymore. We'll need that, and that. Right, let's do a bit of Rhinox Hind. On the axe. Sorry if I'm going quiet again, it's because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. I'm trying to get that on the axe and not all over the white. Okay, so that's done. Now, let's have a look. What do we want next? We want the... I need them again, and that. Want the oxide, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce because I know I'm going to say it wrong. And I basically just want some of this. A little bit in the brush. I know it's straight out the pot. And I just want to hit the face with it. That's just a little bit heavy. The arms. Something there that I don't want there. So because I put so much on the face, I can take a little bit off the face. Put it on the hands. And the arms. And then, although I don't really use contrast paints, I think I've mentioned before in a previous video that I like them for doing sort of spirits and things, sort of ghosty ghouly things. So I've got that contrast paint there, and what I'm going to do is just water that down a little bit. Just to get in some of the crevices on the cape, or whatever it is, cape, cowl, I never know what these spiritual body parts, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's just on that bit there, and then what I'm going to do, go back to the oxide, just wash that off my brush. It's been a while since I did one of these, I forgot which way around to do it. And then just join this onto the lower parts here. I'm probably doing this back to front to how I normally do it, but it's because I'm thinking about the video running and not necessarily what I would normally be doing. So that's down there. Now, most of the black should be dry now, if not, I'll soon find out. And this is just Doorstone grey, and you want some minor bits on here. Don't worry about this being too messy, this isn't done with either yet. So just trying to hit any raised areas. A little bit of grey, right. I'm now going to do my quick dry again. And then next up we have the Agrax Earthshade. So this will just come straight out of the pot again. What I want to do is just run some across the base here. Get it on the chain and the other metallic parts, and on the axe shaft. Again, it doesn't really matter at this point if it goes on anything else, although I want to try and avoid it as best as possible. On the neck. Okay. Okay, how are we doing? I think there's just a couple of bits in there that I don't want. The problem is inside something else. Just trying to hit that and nothing else. Okay, let's just make sure that's spread out enough. Right, so we've got it to this point. Again, I hope that's in view. This is one of the road grass 360 holders. Again, love these things. Okay, right, I'm just going to dry it off as best as I can and as quick as I can. Get a bit of the Corex right back out here again. I know what we're going to do with this. Let's just go back over the hands nothing too major. Try and hit some of the bits and pieces here that are raised. Alright, now I'm just going to go down part of what I'm calling the sort of spiritual part of the body. Hit some of them. I may still do something with that because the colour bits I want to be a little bit darker on it. I'm going over the cape in a few places, just here and there. Because this is quite watery, it's going to not do anything too major, I don't think. I think it's just going to just touch the edge bits, hopefully. Right, where's that brown? So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of white to the brown. Alright, just going to do some little lines and markings on the axe. Again, these are only supposed to be just quick and simple because they just look great when you've got a hold of them on the battlefield. Again, if you want to spend hours and hours painting every single little detail on them, that's fine. Each to their own. Try to get more white to that. More Quarix white. Another colour. Right, let's clean that off. Okay, next. What we're going to do, we've got some of the grey out here. A little bit of grey. And just technically sort of dry brush a little bit. What's the base there? Add a bit of white to it. Now we're just going to edge that with some of the black. Sorry if I'm moving too quick. Oh, I've got to be careful here. My laptop turns itself off in the background. I might turn my light off because it's connected to it. Via USB. I don't know if it will turn off or not, though, but I'm sure it will be fine. Right, so we're getting there. I'm now going to go back to the contrast paint because I want some of the top bit a little bit darker. Just a touch. So what the purpose of these sort of greys and the whites underneath it. Let that dry off a bit. There's a few bits I wanted to make it a little bit more greener and not so white. Obviously I missed the bit down here which I was supposed to do earlier. So using some of the nickel oxide on this lower part. But this is watered down a bit more so the white should show through a bit more. Again, this is probably my fault for not necessarily concentrating, because I'm filming and talking at the same time, and I'm quite aware of it, which is a fairly new thing for me. So, if you follow my page on Facebook or on YouTube, you can probably tell, because a lot of the older stuff I did, the quality was terrible, because I could never get the lighting right. But this new light I've just got has been great. Okay, so I've got a few bits in this kit. Okay, so let's go back to, hang on, I want some white alchemy. This is a scale colour paint. That's basically a very bright silver. Now I obviously don't want it being that bright, so I'm going to take a bit of that and a bit of the black metallic. I'm just going to highlight some of these silvery parts while other bits are drying. Again, I hope you can see this, because if I tilt it any more towards the camera, I can't see what I'm doing. I know from the video that I did the other day, right at the last minute I'd moved out of shot. It was sort of the bottom half of it, so sorry about that. But again, it's just like anything, trial and error, and experimenting with things to get them right. So knowing me, this is probably not as quick as I normally do this. Because I'm aware that I'm recording, I'm trying to, I suppose, give you an overview of how I'm doing it, what I'm doing and why. But a lot of the time, grab some artwork, grab some paints, off you go, and enjoy it. Just put a tiny little shine on the edge of this axe, although technically, you know, it's probably a really dirty, worn out axe anyway, so it probably wouldn't be shining quite as much as that. Let's just touch up any other bits of silver I can see. Got a bit showing through there. A bit showing through there. There's a bit that's deep inside, which is why I want it in black, so that you can sort of see the silver chain back there. A couple of bits up there that I want darker. Let's just get some black in there. We'll see up the top of these things. Right. I'm just going to go over a couple of bits on the top of this now with some white. Any tiny little bits I want to show for it. They don't have to be overly white, I just want to just run some little bits here and there. Too white. Some of that green's still wet, so let's just tidy that up a bit. That was a little bit wetter than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so almost there. Let's just do that little. That's the wrong one. gold on the padlock. A little bit of silver just to brighten it up a touch on the edges. So I think I just want to go over that with a bit more white in places. It doesn't help that the Corex white when it dries, it tends to look quite greyish. Again, this video is probably longer than I'd normally take. It didn't help that at the start I did things a little bit back to front because I was too busy concentrating on where the camera is and etc. Not necessarily on how I'd be painting it. That's just and this is only supposed to be a quickie, simple job. You know, I want to try and make the arms a little bit whiter, just so it differentiates them from the rest of the cloak. And every time it's dry, it won't be overly that bright anyway. Okay, so, ooh, didn't mean to do that. Too much white there. So, basically, that is going to be it. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you. But that's nice and simple. And I'll varnish it and stick a couple of bits on the base. And that is actually the same model there, but I've obviously, the newer one, I've highlighted the black a bit more. What I've done on there. Okay, so it's just a slightly different version. I'll probably use a slightly different wash on it. Okay, we're calling that done. Thanks for watching.